Okay, good morning, everybody. Quick lecture today on a new tool for us in order to do today's assignment. And I am in a new drawing already. I'll draw on my 0 layers. Everyone can see it on my screen. So I'm going to start just by drawing a simple square. And so far in this class, we have been dimensioning our objects. So I'm going to go and put a simple dimension onto here. And you can see this says that the width of this square here is 4 units, but we have no idea what those are. We could be 4 atoms long. It could be 4 light years long. We have no idea. So we're going to start getting into more specific dimensions, particularly architectural is the one that we're going to be working on today, which we'll be working on for quite a few more days after this. So architectural is going to have notation in feet and inches, and that has to do with how they're displayed. And it's a property of what we call the style of this dimension. And to modify our dimension styles, the command is Dimstyle. So Dimstyle, or the shortcut for this one is actually just D. It's used so much. So Dimstyle, enter, and that's going to bring up our dimension style manager. And the style that we've always been using is the class style. Style I've set up for this class. And in Mac here, you've got this little gear here. We click on this gear, and we have Modify. And it'll bring up another window. And believe it or not, all of these tabs and information do nothing but modify how our dimensions are displayed. So there's a bunch of different tabs here, but the only one we care about at the moment is primary units. And our current unit format is in decimal, meaning it's just been showing up as numbers with a decimal point, and then we've had our precision set to 4 decimal places. So when we've done really wacky measurements, AutoCAD has been rounding them to these 4 decimal points. So we're going to change this from unit format, from decimal. You can see there's all these different types of formatting, and we're going to go to architectural. And that's going to change our notation here. If we look in our preview window, we now have feet and inches. And for those of you that don't know, feet is specified by I guess you call that an apostrophe. So right here, this measurement would be 0 feet and then 1/16 of an inch. So when you see quotes, 2 little marks, that means inches. So we're going to be working in feet and inches. So for now, that's all we need to modify. I'm going to click OK and hit close. And lo and behold, we can see my dimension now says 4 inches. Now if I do another dimension, but let's say I go aligned here from this point to this point, now it's telling me this is 5 11/16 inches. So it's giving me a fractional display. In architectural, in the United States, architectural drawings and things are pretty much always using this notation. Now, all this has to do with is our how our dimensions are displayed. Right now, as we go to enter information in, for example, say I want to put in another rectangle in here, if I just go 3 by 3, it's going to default to 3 inches by 3 inches. Now, if I were to zoom out a little bit and say I'm going to draw a line, this line's going to be 12 inches. Guess what's going to happen when I go to dimension this? It says 1 foot. For those of you that don't know, 12 inches in a foot. So then lastly, now for today's assignment, we're going to be punching in dimensions with all of this. And so you don't have to do all of the conversions in your head. We can actually set our units in this to actually be architectural as well. And the way we do that is type in the command units. And this is basically the sort of default data entry setting of how units are dealt with in our drawing itself. So I'm going to go to decimal, and I'm going to change this to architectural as well. And precision, why don't we go to 132? I don't know exactly how precise your assignment is for today. So when architectural, our precision's set to 1/32 of an inch, and everything else here looks fine. So now when I go to draw a line, say I want this to be, you'll notice now in our dynamic inputs, as I move my mouse around, it's actually giving me these measurements in our architectural notation. So right now I'm at 4 and 21/32 of an inch. So I could go say 1, and then I'm going to put my apostrophe for foot, hit enter, and it's just drawn a line that is perfectly 1 foot long. So, or say we want to go 1 foot 8 inches. So see how I do that? 1 foot 8 inches. So there's no need to put a space or anything. I just did 1, and then my apostrophe, and then 8, and the and your little quotes. I went 1 foot 8 inches. And then now, if I have a line that is, say, a ½ an inch long, I'm going to go 1/2. So I'm just using my divide sign and put in my inches. And that will draw a line that's exactly ½ an inch. Or I could go, say, 1/2 of a foot, which that is going to be 6 inches. So it's automatically going to convert all of your stuff for you. Last one would be, say I've got one that is 2 inches, or let's say 2.5 inches. So the notation for that, I'll do it again here. So you go 2, and then now I want to enter in my fraction, but if I just start typing in my fraction right now, CAD's not going to know what part is my whole units and which part's the fractions. So we just separate those by doing a hyphen or the minus sign. So we're going 2 and say 23/32 of an inch. We got to make sure, well, the default's inches, but I always like to remind CAD I'm doing inches and not feet. So I always like to specify. So that's 2 and 23/32 of an inch. And then, I don't know, we set our precision to for our dimension. Yeah, you can see that rounded to 3/4. But if I went to my Dimstyle, edited my Dimstyle, and then went to 32 of an inch as my precision, then that won't round it, and I'll have what I actually put in. So the two commands we just learned are basically the units command, which is going to set your sort of universal data entry units that we're dealing with, and then Dimstyle, which is to adjust our properties of our dimensions to match our units. And we set them both to architectural, which is what you'll need to do for today's assignment. Any questions on either of those two commands?